Hi, I'm Christy Whitman, and I want to just take you quickly through the worksheet that you got because I want to thank you for buying the book, and it's on its way to you. And in the meantime, I want to be able to have you start really working with the principles and start moving the energy in your own life so that you can actually start creating what you do want in your life way before the book comes. So the first thing on this worksheet is that most of us have some kind of contrast in your life, right? Some kind of problem, some kind of thing that we don't want. Maybe everything's great, but you just desire some other things that haven't come to fruition yet. So on this worksheet, the first thing in order to be able to be a deliberate creator is really being able to master contrast. So what is contrast? Contrast is what we don't want. And it could be from something that's really mildly irritating to something that's really big, like your boss is a jerk, or you just want to quit your job, or you're just not making enough money, or not making the bills. Those are like contrasting experiences. And these are great ways to know what we don't want so that we can turn that contrast into clarity. So the very first question in the very first part of this process is essential. We always are focused on what we don't want, but then we don't take it anywhere. We don't shift the focus of it. We just stay stuck in the problem. And solutions, options, our freedom, whatever we're looking for, can't come about if we're focused on the contrast or the problem. So what I'd like you to do is write down all of the things that you don't like about your career or your relationship with money. And this can go back from the earliest times of when you started working. So think of all the things and write it down. I give examples on there, like I'm not making enough money, or I'm working too many hours, or my boss is really critical of me. Write all of these things down on the contrast page. Go ahead and do that now. When you're ready, play the video again. So pause the video right now, take the time to write down all the things that you feel are contrasting in your life, things that you don't want in relationship with your career and money. Go ahead and pause the video now and write that down. Welcome back. So now that you've written down things that are of contrast for you, now this is an important step because we are going to get clear. When you can look at what you don't want and then ask yourself, what do I want instead? That is a very powerful moment in recreating and changing what you do want to attract into your life and what you ultimately will attract. Because now the focus, your attention, is not on what you don't want, it's now on what you do want. And with your focus being different, your energy state is different. And with your energy state being different, you can then attract. The universe will start going to work for what you do want versus what you don't want. Remember, it's an inclusive universe, so whether we as the human being are focused on what we don't want or focused on what we do want, law of attraction is going to continue to give us more of the same. So that's why it's important for us to become a deliberate creator and be aware of where our focus is. So with all those items on your contrast, ask yourself, what do I want instead? So for example, I don't make enough money. Well, what do you want? To make enough money? Well, be more specific. What do you really want? Do you want to be able to pay your bills with ease each month and having extra left over? Do you want to be able to have enough money that you are generously giving to organizations and nonprofits, or maybe even starting your own? Are you wanting to give to those that have cared for you, maybe taking your parents on a trip, or to give to your family in a bigger way? Why do you want to make more money? Really look at all the reasons why. That's the clarity. So once you've done that, I'm going to have you pause the video and look at each item. I work too much. Well, how many hours do you want to work a week? How many days would you like to work a week? If you can design it the way you want it, and you can, that's the whole point of this, in your ideal life, how many hours would you love to work? Or how many days? Would you like to take Fridays off or maybe take Mondays off? Right now, you're probably going, well, how is that even possible? There is possibility. If you have that thought, if you can think it, you can manifest it. But we first have to do this internal work of turning the contrast into clarity. The clearer you are, the clearer the universe has to be clear for you, and there's a path that's laid out to create what you want. But you got to get clear first. So pause the video, and after each item with contrast, ask yourself, what do I want? Go ahead and pause the video now. Welcome back. So you've done the first two parts. You've taken your contrast, you've turned it into clarity. Next, I really want you to get to the place of why you want what you want. We all want what we want because we think we're going to feel better in having something. We think we're going to have some kind of essence, some kind of deep feeling. So for example, when I was a pharmaceutical rep years ago, I didn't have any meaning or purpose in my career. I could go out and I could sell more medication, I could make more money, and that was great and everything, but for me it was like it was missing something. And the contrast of this seems so shallow, it seems like it's not really helping people. I had a deep desire in me to do whatever I was doing in the world, to have it have some type of purpose, to have some type of meaning, to be able to be, significant in making a difference in what I'm doing. So that was a big why for me, is being able to feel my purpose. So under the part where it says quantum success statement, what is it that you ultimately want in relation to your career or in relationship to money? Write that down. And the next part is essence. What is the essence? Now, essence is the feeling space, right? It's love. It's purpose. It's success. It's security. It's expansion. These are all essence words, and they're the things that we actually want besides the accolades and the promotions and the more money and the greater success, all that stuff. There's a feeling sense that we're after. When you can identify what that feeling is, my example was purpose, you can conjure that feeling of purpose in your life before any external conditions need or will change. So for me, I spent time each and every day feeling what it would feel like to be free. Freedom's a big thing for me. I also would take time to feel what it felt like to know that I made a difference and that I had purpose in what I was doing in my career. And because I made that my vibrational set point, it's astonishing that I'm doing now what I'm doing now, because back then I wasn't. I didn't have purpose. I didn't have meaning, but I conjured that feeling of purpose and meaning in my life, and now I'm living it. What I get to do in every aspect of my career has purpose and meaning. So what is your essence? Is it feeling free? And that could mean even financially free, but you first have to conjure that feeling inside of you. If you were free to do what you wanted to do, when you wanted to do it, to work as much as you wanted to work or as little as you wanted to work, you had that sense of freedom. You had that feeling sense inside of you. What would that look like for you? What is that essence? What would it feel like for you? Go ahead and pause the video and really contemplate this. Okay, so we're going to take the next 68 seconds. And I want you, and why 68 seconds? I talk about that in Quantum Success. It takes 17 seconds to shift a vibration, 68 seconds to actually shift the universe and get moving in the direction that you want to. Now, just want to be mindful of this. A lot of people start moving towards they want, and then they go back to what they don't want. And that's inconsistent, right? If you're inconsistent, nothing happens. I think that's the biggest frustration for most people is why is my stuff not manifesting? Why are things not changing? Because they're going from contrast to clarity, contrast to clarity. I'm going to ask that if you are aware of contrast that comes up, and it will, we're human beings, it always still comes up for me after 20 years of doing this work, that you immediately identify it and you bounce on to what you do want. You focus on what you do want, and ultimately that essence of what you want. So for 68 seconds, let's go ahead and time you. For 68 seconds, I want you to bring in that feeling of freedom, that feeling of success, and letting your whole entire being, your mind, visualizing what it feels like, what it looks like, how that would play out in your life, how expanded you feel in your emotions. When you're thinking of what you do want, you're open. When you're thinking of what you don't want, you're constricting. So the more energy you can flow, the more allowing you are, the more accessible you are to the vibration and things that you want. So for 68 seconds, we're going to time you. Feel and conjure that essence energy. Go ahead and do that right now. So this is a process that will help you change whatever you don't want into what you do want. And on this form, I've actually created some other questions, some very powerful questions to help you get to know you a little bit more and to help you understand why you create some of the things that you do and how to shift your vibration. So the next question on the second sheet is, what beliefs do you have about creating or having that particular essence feeling in your life? So write down those beliefs. If beliefs come up that you don't have what it takes, or that sounds too easy, or life's not supposed to be that easy, life is actually hard, whatever those beliefs are, write them down. Because here's the thing, and you'll learn about this when you get the book, there's a law of polarity. If you have these possible thoughts, you also have the potential for the opposite to be true. So take each one of those beliefs that you have, and what would the positive statement be? So, I don't have what it takes. I have everything that I need to succeed. That's an opportunity to shift those beliefs. And what a belief is a thought that's been thought over and over and over again. So as long as you can interrupt that pattern of energy and change it into a new statement and feel your way into that new statement, you're shifting, even so slightly, but it's the slightest shifts. It's those little shifts that make the big difference in the end. So take those beliefs and shift them. If they don't feel good, you have the potential to shift them into something that does feel good. Find a better feeling thought. Find a better feeling belief. I think the rest of it is pretty self-explanatory, but anytime you're focusing on your life, anytime you're focusing on contrast, ask yourself, what do I want? Why do I want it? And how do I want to feel? And then spend that time getting into the feeling state. The rest is contemplation for you so that you get to know yourself, and it'll get you in the process of being ready to receive the book when you receive it. So thank you. I am so excited for your journey through quantum success.